We all have two sides inside us. One side wants to enjoy life right now, and the other side worries about the future. Many times, these two sides fight with each other, and it's not always easy to make the right choice. In a TED Talk, Daniel Goldstein shares this idea in a simple but powerful way. And I'm Troy. Today, I will retell Daniel's talk in simpler English so that everyone, especially those learning English as a second language, can understand it and take in his message. If you find this helpful, please give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support really means a lot and helps me keep making more content like this. All right, now let's get into the story and see what Daniel wanted to share with us. Do you remember the story of Odysseus and the Sirens? Odysseus was a hero. He was going home after the Trojan War. One day, he stood on the deck of his ship and spoke to his first mate. He said, "Tomorrow we will sail close to some rocks. On these rocks sit beautiful women called sirens. They sing a special song. The song is so sweet that every sailor who hears it wants to go to them. But the sailors crash their ships on the rocks and die. You may think we should go another way, but I want to hear their song. So I will put wax in your ears and in the ears of all the men. Then you cannot hear the song. But you must tie me to the mast of the ship. This way I can listen, but we will not die." So the captain risked the life of every person on the ship, only because he wanted to hear a song. I think maybe they practiced this plan before the real moment. Odysseus might have said, "Let's do a test. You tie me to the mast. I will beg you to untie me. But no matter what I say, do not untie me." So the first mate took a rope and tied Odysseus to the mast with a strong knot. Then Odysseus acted like he was under the siren's power. He cried, "Untie me! Untie me! I want to hear the song! Untie me!" But the first mate was wise. He did not untie Odysseus. Then Odysseus said, "Good, you understand. Now untie me, and we will eat dinner." The first mate was not sure. He thought, "Is this still the test? Or should I untie him now?" Then he thought, at some point, the test must end. So he untied Odysseus. Odysseus became very angry. He shouted, "You fool! If you do that tomorrow, we will all die. I will be dead. You will be dead. Every man will be dead. Never untie me no matter what." Then Odysseus threw the first mate to the ground. They repeated this many times during the night, tying to the mast, Odysseus tricking him, and beating the poor first mate again and again. It was almost like a comedy. Tying yourself to a mast is one of the oldest examples of what we now call a commitment device. A commitment device is a choice you make when you are calm, to stop yourself from making a bad choice later when you are not calm. It is like we have two people inside us. One is the present self. Like Odysseus hearing the sirens, he only thinks about pleasure right now. The other is the future self. Like Odysseus as an old man, he only wants a peaceful life with Penelope and Ithaca. So why do we need commitment devices? Because resisting temptation is very hard. Long ago, the economist Nassau Sr. said, "To stop yourself from enjoying something now, or to choose a reward in the future, is one of the hardest things for people." Think about it. Your goals are usually not impossible. Losing weight or exercising more is possible. The problem is not ability, but self-discipline. Temptation is very strong. This is because the fight is not fair. The present self has all the power. It makes choices, it takes action, it eats the donut. The future self is far away, silent, and weak. So the present self often wins and destroys the dreams of the future self. That is why we need commitment devices, to give the future self a chance. The oldest example is tying yourself to the mast, like sailors in old stories. But there are many modern ones. You can lock your credit card, stop buying junk food, or unplug the internet to focus on work. I used commitment devices before I even knew the word. When I was a poor student at Columbia University, I had to publish papers or lose my job. So I made a rule: write 5 pages every day or lose $5. But then came the problem. What to do with the $5? Burning it was illegal. Giving to charity was too good, so it canceled the punishment. If I skipped writing, I could say, at least I gave to charity. That removed the pressure. I thought about giving the money to neo-Nazis, a group I really dislike, but that idea felt too extreme. It was worse than not writing, so it didn't work. Then I made a strange choice. I decided to leave the money in an envelope on the subway. Maybe a good person would find it, maybe a bad one. In the end, it was just wasted money that left me feeling regret. That's what commitment devices are like. They're not perfect, but they can help us fight temptation. Still, I have 2 worries about them. The first is that they remind you that you have no self-control. You say to yourself, without this device, I am nothing. Then, if the device is not there, like when someone offers you a donut, you just eat it. This makes me think that self-discipline is like a muscle. It grows only when you use it. The second problem is that it's easy to escape. You make excuses. I can't write today. I'm giving a TED Talk. I have interviews, and later I'll be at a party, drunk. So it's impossible. You tie yourself up, then free yourself with excuses, and later feel bad. So, for almost 10 years, I have looked for other ways to help people connect with their future selves without using commitment devices. I am most interested in how people connect with their financial future. This matters today because the topic is saving money. Saving is a fight between 2 selves. The present self wants to spend. The future self wants to save. But savings rates have been falling since the 1950s, while the retirement risk index, the chance of not having enough in old age, keeps going up. Right now, the McKinsey Global Institute says that 2 out of 3 baby boomers will not have enough money after retirement. The philosopher Derek Parfit once said something important. He said we often ignore our future selves because we cannot really imagine them. In other words, many people know they will get old, but they cannot picture what life will be like. So, my co-authors and I decided to use computers to help people imagine their future. We built tools to make it easier to see what life might look like when they get older. One tool is called the Distribution Builder. It shows 100 possible outcomes for retirement money. Each marker is one outcome. A high marker means more money. A low marker means less, and maybe problems paying bills. When you choose an investment, you are really saying, any one of these 100 things could happen to me. You can move the markers, but it costs something. You need to save more money today. When you are done, the markers slowly disappear until one is left. That last marker shows how much money you will really have in retirement. For example, one person retired with 150% of the money they had while working. That feels good, because it means more money than before. But if the last marker was at the bottom, the person would feel fear, thinking how hard life would be with very little money. By using this tool many times, people learn something important. The way they save and invest today will decide how comfortable they are in the future. People are often moved by feelings, but not everyone is motivated in the same way. This simulation uses pictures, not only numbers. Some people feel more motivated when they see what money can buy. So I made a distribution builder. It does not only show numbers, but also what those numbers can give. For example, I show different apartments people can afford if they retire with $3,000, $2,500, or $2,000 per month. As the list goes down, the apartments get worse. At the bottom, if you save nothing, you cannot pay for any home. These are real apartments with real prices from the internet. The last behavioral time machine I made with Hal Hershfield uses virtual reality. We take photos of young people and use software to make them look older, 60, 70, or 80 years old. We want to see if meeting your future self changes how you save. In one experiment, a young man controls how much money he saves. If he saves nothing, he enjoys high income today, but will have only 44% when he retires. If he saves the maximum, his retirement income is much higher, but his current income is lower. When he sees his future self, things feel different. The future self is unhappy if he saves little today, but happy if he saves a lot, because then the retirement income is close to 100%. To share this with more people, I worked with Hal and Allianz to make something we call the Behavioral Time Machine. With this tool, you don't just see your future self, but also how you might feel with different amounts of money when you retire. Here's an example. When the young face saves nothing, it looks happy, but the old face looks very sad. When savings go up to medium, the old face looks better. At a high level, the young face looks unhappy, but the old face looks very pleased. We want to see if this changes people's choices. The nice thing about this tool is that it doesn't push you. When one face smiles, the other frowns. It only reminds you that your choices today shape your future self, something easy to forget. Virtual reality can also show how you might look if you smoke, stay too long in the sun, or gain weight. Unlike the early experiments Hal, Russ Smith, and I made, you don't need to build these tools anymore. Now, cheap apps on smartphones can do the same. Here's Hal, my co-author. For fun, we used his photo with aging and weight software. He is here with us today, so don't believe that funny picture. So, I will end here. On behalf of Hal and myself, I wish the best for both your present and future self. If this talk touched you, please like and subscribe to support the channel. Remember, every small step you take today can make tomorrow brighter for your future self. Thank you for spending your time here with me. I can't wait to see you again in the next video. Take care and see you soon!